Assalamualaikum Hi, I am Anissa Anis binti Muhammad Zaini from Bachelor of Dietetic. Today, our group are going to make a presentation on the HACCP Decision Tree for the burn special menu. HACCP Decision Tree is used to determine whether a step in the food processing is a critical control point to control the possibility of occurrence of a food hazard and ensure food safety. First of all, let us take a look on the definition of microbiological hazard. It's hazard that occurs when food becomes contaminated by microorganisms, may include bacteria, virus, and parasite. Microbiological critical control point is a step at which control can be applied and is essential to prevent or eliminate a food microbiological hazard or reduce it to an acceptable level. And the last is microbiological critical limit. Microbiological critical limit is a maximum or minimum value to which a microbiological parameter must be controlled at a critical control point to prevent, eliminate, or reduce it to an acceptable level, which is the occurrence of a food safety hazard. The breakfast menu for the burn patient include chicken wrap sandwich, Greek yogurt apple salad, and fresh milk. For the chicken wrap sandwich, there are two CCP identified during the making, which is the first one is during the receiving of the raw ingredients and the second is during the frying of the chicken. For the first CCP, which is during the receiving of raw ingredients or during receiving of raw chicken, the severity is critical. This is due to raw chicken is commonly associated with Salmonella bacteria, so the correct temperature, which is lower than 4 degrees Celsius, need to be checked to make sure that the chicken is safe and there is no growth of Salmonella bacteria. The second CCP, which is during the frying process of the chicken, the severity is also critical. This is because the frying process can destroy the Salmonella bacteria, so the process need to be adequate in temperature and time to kill the bacteria. The chicken need to be cooked at 177 degrees Celsius for around 25 to 30 minutes or depend on the size of the chicken. If the temperature is adequate, the Salmonella bacteria can be killed during this frying process. The preventive measure taken on the first CCP, which is during the receiving process, is the supervisor must check the temperature of the chicken at the thickest part using the meat thermometer to ensure that the chicken is at least 4 degrees C to avoid the Salmonella contamination. And the corrective action is, if the temperature of the chicken is higher than 4 degrees C, the chicken should be discarded to avoid any hazard. For the second CCP, which is during the frying process, the preventive measure taken if the cook must use meat thermometer to check the part of the chicken. If the chicken is lower than 74 degrees C, the chicken need to be recooked for another 5 minutes. If not, the chicken should be discarded. For the second menu, which is Greek yogurt apple salad, the ingredients used are apple, Greek yogurt, and cinnamon. There are 1 CCP identified in this process, which is during receiving the raw ingredients. This is because yogurt and other dairy products are usually associated with Listeria monocytogenes. So the correct temperature, which is lower than 4 degrees C, should be checked to avoid any hazard. The preventive measure taken is the supervisor must check the temperature of the Greek yogurt with a food thermometer during the receiving process. And the corrective action is discard the yogurt if the temperature was higher than 4 degrees C to avoid the possibility of microbiological Listeria monocytogenes infection. For the fresh meat, there is no CCP identified as there is no cooking method associated with this product. The fresh milk is from a brand that is certified, which is Dutch Lady Pure Farm Full Cream Milk.
My name is Nur Shafika and my matrix number is 050924. I will present for lunch part. This lunch menu consists white rice, fried chicken, tofu spinach soup, orange juice and guava. For white rice, there's only one CCP, which is steaming. The hazard in this point is Bacillus cereus. It is CCP because Bacillus cereus can produce a toxin that is active if the temperature is not controlled and if it is left within 10 to 50 degrees Celsius for 4 hours. The preventive measure is the food worker use food thermometer to check the internal temperature reaches 75 degrees Celsius or not. And the corrective action is the rice is reheated by increase the time cooking until it reaches 75 degrees Celsius. If it reached the optimum temperature, which is 30 degrees Celsius for more than 4 hours, the rice should be discarded. Next menu is tofu spinach soup. There are two CCP which are stir frying and boiling. Stir frying is CCP because garlic that is mixed with the oil can lead to botulism unless the temperature of preheat oil is above 100 degrees Celsius and it is used immediately for next step. The second CCP is boiling because the spinach may contain E. coli and the temperature for boil the spinach need to be higher than 70 degrees Celsius because the optimum temperature is between 25 degrees Celsius to 49 degrees Celsius. The preventive measure for stir frying is check the preheated oil by thermometer before the garlic added, and corrective action is to ensure it is 100 degrees Celsius to kill Clostridium botulinum. Discard if it is left for more than 4 hours. Okay, the preventive measure for boiling is the temperature is checked a few times before it is served and the visual of spinach is wilted. The corrective action is the water is boiled until 74 degrees Celsius and the spinach is cooked until 100 degrees Celsius for 4 to 8 minutes. And cook in small or medium portion is recommended. So for the next menu is fried chicken. There are only 3 CCP. First CCP is frozen storage, second is storing, and the third one is deep frying. For frozen storage, it is CCP because microbial hazards such as Salmonella species may be present, and this microbe can be prevented by checking the core of the chicken temperature below 5 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. It is not killed by low temperature but can slow the incubation period because the microbes is in inactive state. For the second CCP is thawing because the microbial hazards such as Salmonella species is present in raw chicken and it multiplies rapidly between 5 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius. This microbe can be presented by checking the core of the chicken temperature is below than 5 degrees Celsius for 24 hours or more. For CCP3 deep frying, the Salmonella species may survive if the chicken is not cooked properly. It can cross-contaminate the chicken again if the food handler used the same tongue that she or he used to put the chicken in the preheat oil. The bacteria can multiply rapidly, especially if it still contains blood residue. Frozen storage, the preventive measure is the food handlers check the temperature of freezer once per day. For the corrective action is the chicken is stored in the freezer with temperature 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Next, the core of the chicken's temperature is below 5 degrees Celsius. If it does not reach the temperature, divide the chicken into small containers to ensure the cooling temperature of the chicken is even. For thawing, the preventive measure is the temperature is checked by food thermometer right before the frying step in the chicken core is below 5 degrees Celsius. The core of the chicken temperature is below 5 degrees Celsius for 24 hours or less time. If it does not reach the temperature, discard the chicken, otherwise it is dangerous to consume. And for deep frying, the preventive measure is the food handler check the temperature by using food thermometer right after deep fry step. The visual check also included if there is blood or undercooked flesh. For the corrective action, cook the chicken in preheated oil at 100 degrees Celsius. Continue cooking until internal temperature of chicken is achieved 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. If it does not achieve the temperature, try decrease the portion in the pan. If it does not work, finish cooking in oven for 90 degrees Celsius. For orange juice, there's no critical control point, but we must ensure the control point is safe too. It same goes to guava. We also need to ensure the safety of the control point. That's all from me.
Hello, my name is Nurul Shavika. I will explain about dinner's menu for burn patient. So our menu is white rice, steamed mackerel fish, stir-fry mixed vegetables, ice lemon tea and papaya. So the first dish is white rice, but the white rice has been explained in the lunch menus previously. So we move on to the main dish of the dinners, which is steamed mackerel fish. So in the steamed mackerel fish, there are 3 critical control points. The first CCP is at the receiving stage. So in the receiving stage, the fish shall be received when the internal temperature of the fish is less than 4 degrees Celsius. So receiving employee can check the transportation log to see whether the transporting workers comply to the receiving procedures, and checking the internal temperature of the thickest part of fish less than 4 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is not met, the receiving employee can reject the transporting fishes because there is possibility of biological hazards. The second critical control points of steamed mackerel fish is at the storing stage. So the critical limit is the fish shall be stored at the temperature less than 4 degrees Celsius or frozen at the temperature of less than negative 18 degrees Celsius. The kitchen workers can ensure the temperature is met by using thermometer to ensure the storing of fish met the critical limits. If the temperature is not met, the kitchen workers can transfer the fish to another refrigerator or discard the fish if there is any possibility of biological hazards. The third critical control point is at the steaming stage. So the critical limit is the fish have to be steamed for about 25 to 30 minutes and reach the temperature of 65 to 70 degrees Celsius. So the kitchen workers can ensure the temperature of the required critical limit is met by using the thermometer. If the temperature of the steamed fish is not met, the kitchen workers can cut the fishes into smaller pieces and increase the cooking time, as well as increase the temperature of the heat source. The next dishes is the fry mixed vegetables. So in total, there are 3 critical control points. The first critical control point is at the receiving stage. So in the receiving stage, the critical limit is the vegetables shall be received at the temperature less than 4 degrees Celsius. So the receiving employee can ensure the temperature of the vegetables meet the temperature by using thermometer. If the vegetables received is more than 4 degrees Celsius, the receiving employee shall reject the transporting vegetables because there is potential of biological hazards. The second critical control point in the stir-fry mixed vegetables is at the storing stage. The critical limit shall be less than 4 degrees Celsius as well. So the kitchen workers shall ensure that the storing of vegetables shall be less than 4 degrees Celsius by using thermometer. If the storage of vegetables exceed 4 degrees Celsius, the kitchen workers shall transfer the vegetables to another refrigerator or discard the vegetables if there is any possible biological hazards. The third critical control point is at the cooking stage. The critical limit in the cooking stage is 60 degrees Celsius that can be achieved by cooking the vegetables about 4 to 8 minutes. So the kitchen workers shall use thermometer to ensure the vegetables have been cooked and reach the 60 degrees Celsius. If the temperature of the cooked vegetables is not met, the kitchen workers shall increase the cooking time of the vegetables by increasing the temperature of the heat source or by increasing the time of cooking. The drink in the dinner's menu is ice lemon tea. So there is only 1 CCP in the ice lemon tea preparation. So the CCP is at the boiling stage. So in the boiling stage, the water shall be boiled until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. So the kitchen workers can ensure the boiling water reach the temperature by using thermometer. If the temperature of the water is not met, the kitchen workers can increase the boiling time or by increasing the temperature of the heat source until the water reaches 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the last dish is the papaya. In papaya preparation, there is no critical control point.
It can be concluded that HACCP Decision Tree is a crucial procedure to determine the critical control point for each of the hospital menu to prevent any harm or other disease that may come from the food consumption. This is important to ensure the food safety in hospital by knowing the SOP and the temperature danger zone in every critical control point. Since burn patient is needed to avoid any infection and complications, food safety is a good way besides the proper of wound treatment. So that's all from us. Thank you.